Phil Clahar and Matt of Muscle the Score. You guys got me really pissed. You actually got me defending Bob Cicherillo. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. All right. Uh, Phil Clahar and Matt from Muscle the Score. Sorry, I can't pronounce your last name. You are on a full-blown assault on Bob Cicherillo. If you watched videos of mine that I put up previously, you would know I am no fan of Bob Cicherillo. But what's right is right. Phil, you're going off. You're still bitching about what happened at the Masters Olympia. I'll give you this much. The scoring was a little odd, but at the end of the day, most people thought that the person who came in third place should have taken first, and there should have been a battle between you and Dorian Haywood for second and third. You attacked Bob in a lot of ways, and one thing you went at him for, you attacked him as a bodybuilder, that he's never accomplished anything. Yes, he hasn't had an illustrious career. Physique-wise, compare Bob to you, Bob had a much better physique. Accusations towards the Manions, one of them or both of them, Jim and Tyler, accusing, they're the only ones that could have made this phone call, accusing them of calling Steve Weinberger and them instructing Steve that you can win. That's a big insult to the integrity of all three of them. You hinted at possibly suing them, suing the Manions, the IFBB. I'm not exactly sure who you have in mind for not treating you fairly, for being prejudiced against you, however you want to term it. Well, you know what? Those accusations you made were made in public. They might have a better case of defamation against you than you would have against them. I mean, those things those accusations, they're really ridiculous. You are so, and getting back to Bob, you're so butthurt over him because of the way he laid it out with the situation regarding this past Masters Olympia, and he was 100% on the money. He pointed out some things about you that I don't think you were very comfortable with. Yes, you did get to the Olympia once. So did Bob. Bob didn't place well, but he also got to the Olympia. You got to the Olympia, but it wasn't so much that you won the show. It was more that Hassan Mustafa, who we know is a big if whether he's going to have any type of conditioning or not. It was more that he lost the show than you won it. He just did not bring any type of conditioning. If he brought decent conditioning, I don't think you would have stood a chance. I believe it was a couple of years back at the Tampa show. That was a show that you actually won, if I remember correct, to get to the Olympia, where you had a last call out. You were in the last call out, and you never came back for the finals. After prejudging, you just took off. You were not happy with the way you were going to place. You know what? The Manions, if they had it out against something against you, which you say they do because you've been outspoken and they found out your real age, so they're trying to push you out because of your age, uh, they could have fined you, suspended you. You want to come back? You're going to have to pay a fine. That was very unsportsmanlike and extremely unprofessional. Somebody's going to, at the end of the day, somebody's going to be first and somebody's going to be last, and the rest is going to fall in between. But what it is what it is. And that was no way for a pro to handle it. You're threatening, or you say, I think you said that you have left the IFBB. You're not going to compete with them anymore. You are seeking out another organization to compete in. Well, don't let the door hit you on the way out. I don't think you're going to be very missed. Matt from Muscle Discord, once again, starts with a T, the last name. It's difficult to pronounce. I'm going to give him that much respect. I don't want to butcher your name. Let's leave it at Matt from Muscle Discord. First thing I want to say, I get the impression, to me, you're kind of like a bland version of Nick Trigilli. You all remember Nick Trigilli. Uh, you want to start a pot, you want to push buttons, and you want to create tension. I get it. You want to build your channel. I'm trying to build my channel also. You're being a little more careful than Nick Trigilli because you don't want to. You saw what happened with him. But your approach is pretty similar to that. I think your big issue with Bob Cicherillo is when you had him on your show, it was a while back, you were maybe about a year ago or so, maybe a little less, I don't remember for sure. You were not happy with a show that Phil competed in and the way he was judged, which happened to be the show that he didn't come back for the finals. You thought that he should have had a better looking over. You even thought that he should have been the first call out. Bob Chick called you out on that. Well, why should he be in the first call out? Well, he should be. Well, why should he be in the first call? Well, I think he should. It's my opinion. Well, why should he be in the first call out? Finally, Bob pressed him enough, and his response was, well, because of his placing last year. That was, it was, there were, it was, I'm pretty sure it was it must have been the Tampa, because they were the same shows a year apart. Because he won that show last year. So you should have gotten a better looking over. You should have been in the first call out. Well, whatever you did last year is meaningless. It doesn't mean diddly squat. It's what you step on stage with that day. That's what you're being judged on, not last year's physique. And Bob took you to task on that, and he did it very well. You were not happy with that whatsoever. That really tore into you. You are now calling for a petition to have Bob Cicherillo removed from the Olympia as the master of ceremonies. Well, personally, I think that certain things that Bob says regarding athletes, it's one thing to critique an athlete, but in his position, he's probably better off drawing the line at some point, which he doesn't seem to do. I think that would be the better way to do it. But at the end of the day, he does have a right to his opinion. You want the removal of him simply because he took you to task, and now he took Phil Clahar to task, who you seem to love to blow smoke up his butt. I understand he's a regular on your show. I'm sure you consider him a friend, but isn't it better to be truthful with a friend instead of just blowing smoke up his ass and taking his back no matter what? Uh, Plain and simple, I think you're more interested in the sensationalism to try to build your channel. In the long run, things might backfire. You had as a regular on your show, Ron Harris. Ron Harris has left your show over all this commotion. You had him on the show with Phil, and you put him in a position that, hey, he was a regular. That wasn't called for. Now, Chris Cormier, who was on your show with the Cormier podcast, my hunch is he's in a jump ship pretty soon. Also, he's not going to have, not going to want to have any part of your sensationalism. That's all. That's the only way you can put it. At the end of the day, you're both big crybabies about this. Phil Clahar, you're not going to be. I don't think you're going to be missed if you do plan on taking the Manions, the Olympia, or whoever you have in mind to court on this. I don't think it's going to go anywhere whatsoever. If you cannot take being critiqued, being criticized at all, this is not the sport for you to be in to begin with. And I ran off a little longer than I expected to. If you agree or disagree with anything I've said, either way, let me know in the comment section. This is Michael Diamond. I'd like to thank you for watching Muscle Central.